y'all, what it do? What's up? Your girl G here, and welcome back to my channel. Now, you guys, I totally forgot that Martha's Vineyard was coming on. So this is a show that we are definitely adding to the roster because Martha's Vineyard is definitely, hands down, one of my favorite Bravo shows, and this is just their second season. The new edition of Noelle is definitely proving to be a good choice, and for episode 2, it's already, the stuff is brewing. We got a lot brewing under the surface here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Everybody, if you definitely want me to continue reviewing Martha's Vineyard, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know. And everybody else, what do you think of the show so far? And what do you hope for the future of Martha's Vineyard? So, let's go ahead. Where did we start at? This episode actually started with them getting off of the boat. They went out on the boat last episode, and kind of, I don't want to call it a celebration, but just was kind of like an uplifting thing for Preston because his father passed away. And then also on the boat as well, Summer and Alex spoke because after last season, they did a little, canoodling under the sheets, okay? And a misunderstanding, I guess, happened between the two of them. So on the way back, you have a one car, Summer, she's in the passenger seat, and like Nick is just like rubbing all up on her shoulder. And he's like, it's me, it's Nick. And she was like, I know. And it's clear that there is a pattern with Nick where he just isn't understanding. He's doing some white people, okay? They just love touching. I'm like, oh my God. Nick grew up the kid that was around the cool boys and was like cool boy adjacent. And so he always wanted to have the girls that the cool guys had, but basically got, I don't want to say the leftovers, but the girls that hung out with the ones that they didn't like, the ones that they didn't want, that's the girls that Nick got. And Nick wants to be, the Alexes of the world. We'll just put it that way. And I'm not a huge, oh my God, Alex, he ain't that, he's not finding me. He looked like Chris Bosh. He too skinny, but Alex, what he has working in his favor is his height and his, very nonchalant energy, So when Nick sees guys like Alex, he kind of almost, wants to, emulate them, their ladies man persona. I'll just put it that way. And so by his, energy of always, touching the ladies, being in commute with them, just being in, reach of them, I think it makes him feel more like that when you ain't that Nick. I hate to break it to you. But yeah, so everybody gets back to the place. Everybody halfway, 3 sheets to the wind. Hell, Shanice is 3 sheets to the wind. They talking about when the last time you got some D. And she was like, dang, I should have got some before I got out here. Noelle, she like, March. And Alex, he was like, I don't think of it that way. Alex bumping with all this fake, I'm above, greater than, attitude. It just, the word for Alex is nonchalant. He is trying to prove to be that cool, low-key, suave, don't nothing bother me type dude. But it's just kind of giving scheme. And Summer, you got caught up in the scheme of it all. Not to say that there's no fault in that whole, situation with y'all two, but Alex definitely gives, you got to keep your good eye on him, okay? So, yeah, everybody gets back to the house. Amir, he checks in on Preston, just kind of asks how he's feeling about his dad. Preston, at the end of the day, he was just kind of although, I didn't show up to the funeral, freak, his half, his other half, his father's side of the family, they got pissed off about what he said, about the dad. I think they got mad about what he said, or expressed about the relationship, I think, on the show last season, if I'm not mistaken. Or, so they disinvited him and the sister from the funeral, which is totally effed up. But, Preston, he basically spoke about in the first episode about how, his family didn't take too kindly to the fact that when his dad tried to come back around, by that time, he was just kind of I don't need it. Yeah, you might be on your 12-step program and now you're getting to apologies, but I'm in college, I'm getting my degree. and now you're coming around. Like, I think parents don't understand. There is a mourning process with kids and their parents when you detach from them. And Preston had already gone through the mourning process of his father because of the way he grew up with him. He said his dad was alcoholic. He drank. He was in the bottle. Okay. He was abusive. Okay. So when you grow up with a dad like that, you mentally already are preparing yourself. Like, it's almost like it really is just kind of like a grief. It really is like laid to rest in your mind. And that's kind of how Preston, he's like, now that he's gone, you know, it just kind of feels like I no longer have to carry the burden of like, oh, I gotta, you know, have a relationship with my dad, or like I gotta appease other people by, you know, letting him come back in my life. Like, there is no longer a pressure of knowing that this man exists and he's a part of me that I have to entertain. But I really enjoy Preston. I really, really do. Amir, he another one. Amir, I feel like I'm gonna have to get into your ears later on in a few episodes. I just feel it in my system. But everybody's back at the house. Like I said, Liddy City, and I guess they were gonna go outside, but it started raining, and so they're deciding to do like a theme party. And this is where Noelle shines. Noelle came in like how you're supposed to come in as a newcomer to a reality TV show. Don't come in doing too much, okay? Don't come in trying to be like, you know, the shine. You know, the girls who try to be the star, you know, never end up being the star. You just gotta naturally, you carry that aura about yourself. And Noelle kind of carries that. And, you know, kind of find out she was an AKA. Don't surprise me. She's, you know, she said she a little clatchy, a little bougetto, you know, and it's fun to see. And so she basically was like, you know, I was super shy growing up, but my way of expressing was like, anytime we did theme parties, you know, that just was like my way of getting out of my shell. So they're kind of doing like a party of the decade. So everybody's going to show up as a different, you know, decade. So all the guys, they're downstairs, and they're talking or whatever, and they asked Alex about his conversation, you know, with Summer on the boat, and Amir basically got to it, like, you know, what was the holdup? What was the mix-up? Because Alex was like, you know, I kind of feel like we finally got to, you know, understanding. I think that she had a little more in it, you know, expectation, and Amir's like, you know, I wouldn't try to say it, but I'm just saying, you know, I ain't saying, but I'm just saying, like, she definitely was giving off energy of just kind of feeling like, but it's me. And he was like explaining to Alex, he's like, but you're looking at Summer like, yeah, it's you know? And Summer, you did admit later in the episode that you can't do, you know, situationships. Now, there definitely is a difference between a situationship and an F-buddy. Let's just put it that way. There is a difference between a situationship and an F-buddy. And I think that Summer was leaning more into the situationship of it all. And Alex viewed it more as an F-buddy. And that's the unfortunate part, because y'all's wires got crossed. And then also Summer, like Alex said, you know, like she was cool until I hear that she's, you know, sending pictures to Jordan. My thing is, how did he find out about the picture getting sent to Jordan? So Jordan, did you snitch? It's giving you snitch, Jordan. Girl, like, I feel like she genuinely was interested in Alex. You know, they was kicking it off last season. You know, just chit-chatting, you know, oh, you know, he's so mindful, he meditates, he doesn't drink, you know, you gotta be careful with them, you know, I'm so evolved, you know, I'm the emotionally intelligent kind. Them the low-key snakes in the grass. You gotta be careful. Like I said, keep your good eye on them. And then you have situations like this where I think Alex threw Summer off guard by not inviting him to, you know, that party. Because for her, it's like, first of all, one, I think the big trigger for her was, don't play on my intelligence. Like, I understand it's the principal things of two, and I think that's what really pissed Summer off, because don't sit here and tell that live like, oh, you know, I didn't know you were here. Yeah, you did. You saw me on the phone with Jordan, so that's a lie. And I think that's what really bothered her, because it's like, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. So she, got annoyed by that. And then also the fact that, like, I think Summer views people that she hooks up with and just having kind of a mutual respect. She explained it as, there's like a mutual love for each other. Love is a little bit strong, but I get the sentiments of what she was trying to say. I think for her, it's just a thing of like, outside of the hooking up, like, still view each other as a friend you care for, and I think she just kind of got, like she said, she put expectations on Alex that he definitely wasn't aware of. But nonetheless, Nick took away from that conversation, well, does this mean you can beat again? Like, you can rebeat? And they're like, rebeat? I knew what he meant immediately when he said it. Basically, spin the block. He was making up his own term for spin the block. Because you already, beat, okay? And now it's a thing of, can you rebeat? And Amir was like, dang, why are you trying to push it on him? He's like, do you want to be, Summer? I feel like Nick sees these ladies and, definitely views them as the type of women that he wants to be with. The quote unquote, I don't want to say baddies, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They fit a standard of what, society deems as, a certain echelon. And I don't want to be rude, but Tasia doesn't fit that societal, look. And yes, skin tone plays in it, but also outside of skin tone, because Tayshia is brown skinned, I think it's just like her, status and like kind of like the energy that she carries of like, other men want me, and dudes want the girl that other men want, right? And that's why Nick, when he came in on the first season, ain't say shit about having a girlfriend. You was hitting up all the girls in the DMs, heart eyes and fire emojis, and when the girls get in the house, and you talk like, oh, you talking about, oh, my girlfriend's coming next week, and they're like, girlfriend? Bro, you was just in my DMs. And like, so it's giving Nick like, you a little sneaky. And so yeah, everybody gets dressed, comes downstairs. Noelle decorated everything. Preston had like the 90s from Juice. Noelle dressed like, real groovy, baby. And so this Summer, Jasmine dressed up as the 1950s housewives, and Amir was confused because he's like, I thought you supposed to dress up as somebody else. And girl, you looking exactly like looking and dressing exactly how you usually do. Cause with you and your Simon, y'all, Jasmine, you in trouble, girl. I know you pregnant. You in trouble, girl. That's all I can say. Because the way he was acting before, remember when he said, this covering that comes with marriage, you better get it right. And then now throw a baby on top of it. We already know where this ball is rolling, y'all. But yeah, and then what's his name? Nick came up as a tennis player. Amir came up as Nick. And so they voted that Preston was the best dressed. I love Preston's. It was between Preston and Summer for sure. Polo, Tink, Shanice, she just put on whatever, like, flared pants. And they was like, girl, you look like a worker, like a working gal. And she's like, a working gal? And everybody was like, yeah, you work the streets, okay? You a lady of the night. Can I, stick that leg out, on the corner? Can I get a, taxi? Girl, they was calling you a hooker. And so Shanice was like, my damn. And so, yeah, Shanice, we're gonna get into you, Shanice. So, after they voted Preston, they were going to go outside, like I said, but it was raining. So it was just kind of like, let's turn up, drink, get to it. And so they start playing, like drinking games. And then here come the shit. Here come the shit, y'all. So they play this drinking game, and they start asking questions like, who's the first one? It was like, who's the worst dressed? And it was Shanice. Another one was like, who what was the question before the Shanice situation? Oh, it was shots. It was like, oh, let's take a shot. Shanice, girl, she can party. And you could tell everybody was like, we already like at that, that point where you start feeling good, where it's like, if you take 2 more shots, then you gonna start being drunk boots. I think everybody knew to like, we hit our level. That's when she was like, more shots. They were like, let's just take a sip of our drink. She was like, y'all is lame. And I'm like, Shanice, girl, take the hint. Take the hint, girl. But she went in there, got shots, and that's when they pulled the next question, which was who was worst dressed. And Summer was like, Shanice. And the fact that she dragged it out, everybody was like, oh, okay. And so she hears it, comes back and was like, why am I worst dressed? And she tried to justify it with, I mean, you like the worst of the best. Like, it's not that none of us don't dress good, And so Shanice was like, man, F you. It's not like y'all mad at me because I'm real. Y'all be wearing all the fake shit. And everybody was like, okay, everybody caught strays in that situation. Preston was like, bitch, don't come for me. I know I wear fake shit, but it look good. Like, you ain't got to get on me, boo-boo. So Shanice runs upstairs and she starts crying. Bria runs up to check on her. And it really just hit a soft spot clearly for Shanice. And come to find out, first of all, her job is pettyish for doing her the way they did. Don't move me somewhere and then fire me when I get there. That is straight up bull. Y'all gonna move me and then fire me? Like, And so she got fired, but this was already in the workings, coming to Martha's Vineyard. So in her mind, she just kind of feeling like, damn, Summer, like, I guess she knew all the stuff of her, like, losing her job and, trying to, figure it out. So hearing Summer say, girl, you the worst dressed, she took it as a dig, like, girl, you ain't got no money, and that's why you ain't got no clothes. And I don't think Summer meant it like that, but, when Summer was in the little, truth booth that they have, she basically was explaining it to Noelle as like, well, anytime I see her, she's just in shorts and a shirt. And so Summer kind of viewed it in a like, girl, your everyday wear, you're going out wear is, we'll just call it basic. We'll just put it that way. And so, Bria goes up there and was like, girl, you okay? She's like, no. She's like, girl, she can suck a dick and like, don't worry about her, F her. Bria was just trying to hype Shanice up to make her feel better. Be like, man, F her, don't let her steal your shine. Like, she mad at you, she jealous of you anyway. Like, Bria was just trying to be there for her girl. And so they were all downstairs, like, is she mad? Summer's like, is she mad? Like, did I hurt her feelings? And everybody was like, oh, Lord. So then Noelle comes up, convinces her to come back downstairs. Summer talks to Shanice. She's like, is it a problem? Like, what I said was a problem? And she was like, you told me I look the worst, I dressed the worst. Like, what's up with that? And so Summer, I'm just gonna assume that in this moment, because she was under the influence, she wasn't necessarily getting the gist of the impact of what she said. And so she was just like, well, I mean, Amir, like, he don't dress good either, maybe it's Amir. And so everybody's like, girl, now, damn, Summer, now everybody don't dress good. Like, it was just a whole mix-up for Summer. I think being under the influence, of course, and, sometimes, liquor make you tell the truth. I think it was a mixture of both. So the turn up commences, y'all. Everybody start dancing, dancing and drinking. That's what I was trying to say. Dancing and drinking. Amir was like, that's my cue, because all the girls were shaking ass, okay? Hey, let that coochie breathe. Shake that for Drake. Now shake that for me. What's that new one from Sexy Red? I like it. Halle Berry. What is it? Get it sexy. That's what it is. For me as a 90s kid, the thousands, 9,000s, that was just such a good musical era. Okay, so Halle Berry as a sample, yes. Sexy Red is ratchet, but she has the perfect music for when you're in the mood to do hood rat shit with your friends, and that's what they was doing. And Nick, he was sitting there like, looking, acting like he wasn't looking. You know, no, you got a girl. And so Amir, he was texting his chick like, oh, you know what I want to eat. And she was like, huh? That wasn't meant for me, was it? And he was like, what? And so he goes down there and was like, what are you talking about? Oh, it just seemed like, that had nothing to do with our conversation. Like, that was for me. He was like, that's real accusatory. She was like, no, it wasn't. And I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. This is crazy. He was like, yeah, I'm just kind of like not in that scene. All the girls are dancing and stuff. And, I just wouldn't handle it, like that. And she's like, are you making it seem like you want to do that? And he was like, no, I'm just saying like, that's something I wouldn't do. He's just not really showing a lot of respect to his girlfriend. And he really ain't, because Nick, he just sitting there watching everybody else, shake ass and titties. And Shanice, girl, I'm also going to need you to realize to be fun, but also understand the boundaries of you are in a house with men who do have ladies. And so Shanice clearly got a lot going on, and she said it too. She doesn't like getting into feelings. She is a girl who clearly is hurting and has a lot that probably went on in her life. The way she's just the most outgoing and loud people are typically the ones who are doing the most, hiding. And I really am interested to hear more about Shanice's, life, because her wild, cuckoo, crazy for Cocoa Puffs, there's something underneath that. But yeah, so everybody, goes to bed. The ladies finish cleaning up or whatever. Next morning, Preston was so confused. He was like, who the fuck cleans? Like, because we was too drunk. He was so confused. The next day, y'all, Jordan called her dad and revealed that she got a deal about some hair. And she reveals that she has alopecia, y'all. Her whole front is bald. And so that's really unfortunate, because hair for women is a part of the femininity, it's a part of the full package. So it was really great for her to give that vulnerability. And also too, when her and Jasmine talked also on the boat, they basically kind of discussed why they fell out. Jordan was kind of feeling like, girl, I don't know if I can trust you, because this person I'm seeing ain't who I know. And I think she missed it when Jasmine was like telling her, because she was like, I wasn't trusting what I was seeing. Like, it wasn't authentically you. And she's like, it wasn't me. I was surviving. It wasn't clicking to you what she was saying. Jordan, bitch, she was saying, girl, this first year of marriage is whipping my ass. That's what I got from it. Y'all tell me what you got from it down in the comments. But they basically agreed to kind of like move forward. They go out to eat. Half of them go to brunch. The other half work out. At the brunch, Summer and Jordan and Preston talk about Shanice and kind of how like she blew up, but didn't really she's not really letting people in. Preston also asked Summer about, what's the D looking like when it comes to Alex, and all she did was kind of like I think Alex definitely gives he was having sex with her and then was giving her the cuddling after, which is what made her catch the feels. Like, because she said it, she's like, I like the love making of it all. And so I think Alex was there for the sex, but knew to give like the cuddles after, and that's what Summer got hooked to. Because she said, he's a nice kisser and a nice cuddler. And I was like, oh, that's where he got you. That's where he got you. You can't cuddle after the sex. Get your and get out, okay? Because that's where you get caught up, ladies. But then at the gym when everybody else was working out, Alex, see, that's the problem with you, Alex. Alex, I'm like, Amir, he was, doing his shit, and all the ladies was rooting and cheering for him. So he's like, shit, I thought I could do it too. And went up there, almost tore your whole ligaments off, trying to prove that you was big man. Like, Alex is so lame. Ugh. Talking about, I heard them cheering on Amir, so I can do it too. Yeah. And effed all your shit up, okay? Bria, she come to find out she a little gymnast, so she's like, it's a little party trick I got. So then they talked to Shanice about how she felt about Summer, and basically she just let them know, like, I just kind of feel like, damn, like, you my friend, so that's what threw me off. And then for Summer and Jordan, they just kind of feel like Shanice sometimes can be a little bit merch. She can be. But, tell me if I'm being a good friend to you now. If I F up, tell me. But Shanice is kind of feel like Summer might be jealous, because she was like, when we went to Jamaica, I was telling her about, the people I was talking to, they got a little status or whatnot. And she was like, how are you talking to these people? And I think what Summer really meant deep down kind of was like, girl, you everywhere. You crazy. Ain't got shit going on in your life. And the minute you talking to, it ain't clicking. And Summer, that's kind of that's what it is. Like, she's the fun girl. She's the good time girl. She's the girl who shows her titties on national television. That's what those type of, guys look for. I don't want to say easy, but vulnerable. Would have put it that way. Not easy, vulnerable, because Shanice is very vulnerable. I'll put it that way. So everybody gets back to the house. On the way back, also Preston, Summer, and Jordan talk about Nick being handsy, and they kind of feel like you need to break up with Tasia because it's clear you don't want her, because you disrespect her every which way. The way you look at the ladies, talk to ladies, touch the ladies is giving real, there's no boundaries for you, okay? And I kind of agree with them. The fact that you hit her last season was the tell for me. So they get back, and Preston's downstairs talking to the dudes, to the other guys, and they just were kind of like catching up and stuff. And Amir he brought up like his girlfriend or something like that, and he was like, yeah, like, I still want to be friends with the ladies, but I still understand, like, I don't want to do nothing to make my girlfriend uncomfortable. And Nick was like, just do what I do, just hang out there. And even everybody's face said, like, and Preston was like, you think that's what you do? He was like, what you mean? He was like, you kind of get a little handsy. He was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't touch them. And Preston was like, you know what? This ain't my fight. And so Nick was like, wait a minute, no, let me know. Like, tell me. And he was like, you do kind of be, touching. And they do the playback. Like, Nick, you definitely, I think he just wants to feel like that. But Nick, you are never going to be that, because it's all about the energy you carry. Alex carries that energy only by default of being nonchalant, and when you act like you don't care, it makes the women want to care even more, right? Also, y'all too, Summer, Noelle talked to Summer because she didn't know about Noelle. She didn't know about Summer and, Alex doing the do. She completely missed all that because she was too busy munching on crabs. And so she went to go talk to Noelle, kind of like, girl, I didn't know that y'all really... And she was like, yeah. She was like, okay, so that's different, And Summer kind of took offense, like, well, girl, like, I told you we was hanging out, but I don't need to tell you everything because, like, you don't know him. But now because you want to hook up with him, like, now, it's all for play. And it just kind of was like, Noelle kind of views you as a friend, at least of some closeness, or feeling like, girl, before I go in here, just give y'all the details so I know what's up. And I think that's the place that Noelle was just coming from, like, girl, I just don't want to step on no toes. And if y'all really was looking like that, then that kind of means that there's more than just hanging out. But also, too, some people, when you say, like, oh, girl, we just kicking it, we cool, most people do kind of guess that sex is somewhere involved in, that kicking it, we cool with it, But yeah, so after that, Nick actually ends up going to Jordan and Summer's room because he was just confused. He was like, I hang out with them all the time. I thought that, they're comfortable around me. But it's kind of a false comfortability because they just haven't said nothing to Nick. And so that's why he's confused. And so he finally goes in the room and was like, do I make y'all uncomfortable? And Jordan had to be the one to be like, just a little handsy. And Summer was like, yeah, it's the hands. And that's kind of where the episode ended. And it was just kind of like, here we go. Like, y'all, Martha's Vineyard is really good. I really enjoy Martha's Vineyard. Y'all jump down in the comments. Tell me how you feel about Noelle, the new edition. What you guys think about Shanice. Did she have a right to feel pissed off about what Summer said? When it comes to Jordan and Jasmine, do you feel like they'll ever be able to get their relationship back? Speaking of Jasmine, the girl Bria and Summer already called it out, talking about like, that bitch pregnant, girl, them titties is tittying. They getting full of milk. And Bria was like, I feel like she is, because it's like, he's assignments off deployed and he do what they usually do. They get deployed, they get her pregnant, and then leave. And that's what a lot of these dudes do as, I don't want to say security, But you know, they want to talk about the women be trapping. No, it's these niggas that be trapping. And Simon, I think, did have a fear of her going into Summer House. What they want, a mattress made in the mule. Shout out to Erica De Niro. And he got that from Judgement, because first season, y'all, he was working her like a horse. Y'all remember that? He was working her tired, loose which way. Every which screws was loose. Girl, iron my clothes. Where is my lunch? You know, you didn't iron it the right way. You're so dumb. You can't even get it right. Like, he was on her ass. And she even said they had to go back to counseling. So Bria might have been onto something. These dudes be getting they just pregnant and then deploy, so they had something to come back to. But yeah, you guys, Martha's Vineyard, I appreciate you for tuning in. Alex, you whack, you really ain't the dude that you think you are. That's just my opinion, okay? And I will catch you guys later. Deuces.